going on, guys? Jash here, and today we're joined by
Bryn
and Stevie.
And today we are going to talk about something relevant that is fresh in our minds, and that is filmmaking. So for those of you who haven't seen my channel, Jash G or Snobbic Productions, I make a lot of short films, and I include my friends with it because friends are free. And they're actually, I have a lot of talented friends as well. So we actually just got done shooting and put out one, and it's called He's Nothing Like You, and actually Bryn started it as well as Stevie's back and her voice talents. And then before that, Bryn also worked on another one called Turtleneck, which was a short film we did. So what I wanted to do today was I wanted to get their opinions and also share mine. So I am the guy behind the camera. That's where I like to be. And Bryn and Stevie have both been talent for me. So I wanted to see what their maybe expectations were versus what reality was. Different things like that. Now, what's cool is they both have very different backgrounds. Bryn, he has never acted or done any drama, to my knowledge, anything like that. Much like me, I had zero interest in that growing up.
I mean, I was married once.
Yeah. And then Stevie, you were in drama, right?
Yeah, I did about drama for about 2.5 years in high school.
Cool. Did you do any plays or were there any videos or anything that you guys did?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we have a few documentaries. I did one for drunk driving, like every 15 minutes to cause awareness. And then I did another short play where I had to listen to a tape recording of all the lies I ever did in my life. And I had to sit in that room and listen to every lie I ever told because I was being punished for a major lie that ended up killing a bunch of people. And I had to break down at the very end of that play. And that was a hard one because really having expressed those emotions and being like, what are all of the lies I've ever told in my life? They told me to think about that, and I really had to project those into that play.
That's
pretty deep
Yeah.
stuff. That's wild.
I think I saw that 15 minutes. I was really drunk and my car wouldn't start, so totally kidding, I hope.
You were like...
So Bryn, again, you never did anything like that. When did we do Turtleneck? Was it 6 weeks ago?
It was
8 weeks.
It was
2 months.
I want to say it was like around September. No, it was beginning of November.
November. Okay.
No.
So.
Yeah, maybe 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. 6 to 8 weeks ago. So, with this all being fresh for you, first I want to kind of get an overview perspective of when you agreed to do Turtleneck, which, just to tell you guys, was all based around Bryn. I created the whole concept because I'm friends with Bryn. During fall, he pulls out turtlenecks, and his friends, we all give him kind of crap about it because you just turned 30, right?
September to March, turtleneck season.
Yeah. So he wears them all the time, and we've always just kind of given him crap for it. So it's really just an over-dramatization of his love for turtlenecks. But what did you expect when I kind of pitched you the concept itself?
I honestly didn't know what to expect. I was like, this could be fun. I like to have fun. I like the very small bit of experience that I do have. I was on the school news for a semester in high school. I don't know if you can consider that, experience. But I didn't think I was going to be any good at it. I thought it was just going to be a wash, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, this guy's going to put me in front of the camera and it's going to suck. And it was actually a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing Turtleneck.
I did too. Actually, I thought that was, up until this most recent one. Well, no, I'm going to even recant that.
I don't know, man.
Turtleneck holds a special place in my heart. Like, the shots, truly, that was honestly the first time that I really worked extremely hard to perfect a lot of my shots. And everything flowed so perfect together. The 120 frames per second fan out, everything looked perfect, and it really looked how I envisioned it. There was a couple things, and we'll get to that I would change, but overall, that one has a very special place in my heart.
Universally, I think Turtleneck definitely displays more aspects of filmmaking and your talent in general.
I agree.
Like of my friends who have seen He's Nothing Like You and Turtleneck, like the comments are like, there's a couple moments in He's Nothing Like You that everyone thinks is hilarious, and like that's what they key onto. But like, I had so many different people say, "Oh man, the best part of Turtleneck was this," and another one say, "The best part was this," and another one, "The best part was that." Like, it just had such a broad arsenal of filmmaking techniques.
Yeah.
That I think that, and that's why it did so well, because it did do pretty well pretty quick.
Well, even if you look past Friends, right, with Turtleneck, here's what I'll say.
I haven't seen the Facebook or the YouTube comments yet, so I don't know.
Well, people outside of Friends, different things like that, who have seen it, people think it's hilarious, and I'll tell you why I think that is compared to the newest one we did. He's Nothing Like You, and this is just kind of contrast between the two. Turtleneck is constantly giving pulses of comedic entertainment. Just throughout the whole thing, just pulse.
Yeah.
Pulse. Yeah. Pulse. It doesn't allow you to not be captivated. You're fully entrenched in it because something's funny, and by the time you finish laughing about that, you got another thing. So it's an over dramatization, just ridiculous thing. Whereas with He's Nothing Like You, it starts off very drama-esque, right? Like the tone and fluctuation you show in it, it sounds like you're like, oh shit, what did I step into?
Something's going on here.
Somebody's relationship is going to change. And it takes a while to get to that point where it shows, okay, here's how it's funny, because I love to shoot comedies and things that I find funny, and at the end of the day, I think it's important to first make yourself laugh, because if you're not laughing and enjoying what you're doing, what's the point in doing it? Right? That's kind of how I am. So all those things make me laugh. The idea of different things make me laugh, and that's why I shoot them. So we didn't have that pulse build up, and that's part of why when
it was more of a suspenseful comedy.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why I actually kept that one shorter. I edited out a little bit more than I intended, just because it was like, man, this is kind of dragging. So let's not get these long shots of you walking. Let's cut it down. Let's make it more interesting. On to the next thing, more interesting. So
it was more of a build up, like a crescendo up to funny punchline, and then that was more of what He's Nothing Like You.
Exactly.
As where Turtleneck was just like boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, you didn't really expect much. You just thought, hey, the concept sounds kind of funny.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It was a fun thing to do, and that's about as far as I took it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out how actually how fun it is, and I was like, this is I want to do this again.
Yeah. So that was actually what I was going to ask you now. So that led into you wanting to do further projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's kind of do the same thing as far as He's Nothing Like You. What was your expectations with that?
See, that was a different. With Turtleneck, I went into it not knowing what to expect as far as like the experience, though. And when I went into He's Nothing Like You, like it was almost intimidating, because it was like Turtleneck. It was, hey, here's this thing in real life that we all joke about, we all make fun of, and it's funny. It's already there. You know what I mean? Like, I knew right away that we were gonna get a kick out of that one.
Yeah.
With He's Nothing Like You, like that's more of a dramatic thing. There's like turmoil in a relationship, and there's infidelity, and then somehow we're gonna make comedy out of that. It was kind of intimidating, to be honest. But it worked. So.
Yeah. Now, you probably noticed also, with the contrast between the two, when we did Turtleneck, it was very, I would say, free-flowing. I'm not going to say disorganized, but it was very much so like, hey, let's do that again. Let me have you do it this way.
We had a script, but we kind of winged it while we were doing it.
Exactly. Whereas with this one, as I progress as a short filmmaker, I constantly want to make sure that the quality that I'm creating is better today than it was yesterday.
Right.
And with that, I wanted to be more organized. That's why we did the, scene 2, take 1, scene 2, take 2, that sort of thing, just kind of repeating that process. But what really made that easy for me was and I was really impressed with you, CV.
Thank you.
I'd say things once and you got it, and maybe it's because when I was a kid I smoked way too much pot. But like I have a horrible memory, so I jot things down, and I said it once to you, and then I kind of went over, this is how it should look, and then I immediately was like, oh shit, she probably forgot everything I just said, and she's focusing on what I said. This is how I want it to look, and you're like, nope, I got it, we're good. And even with me adding more, like, are you sure? You sure you don't, you flowed with it and you rocked it, and your fluctuation tone, everything was on.
Thank you.
So,
You're so nice, isn't it?
now, I'm
just jealous.
going to call our names off camera, but this is a Christian show.
Right.
So,
you know.
Yeah. No, so you have been on film, right?
Yes.
Through high school and stuff like that. What was your experience remembering that and kind of going into this? How did it differ?
It was insanely different. I mean, it's been 5-6 years since I've been in front of a camera since then, obviously, besides taking photos and stuff. So really having to reapply a lot of those skills I learned. I told him at first, like when he was like, hey, my friend needs some help with a project, and this one is not good at explaining stuff, just a heads up. So I was like, well, this is dumb. But I was like, you know what, I really miss that aspect of my life, because for a long time I wanted to start a YouTube channel or do something and really be able to broadcast that. But doing that short film and like doing the goofiness, I forgot how much I truly loved it. And being able to like step in front of camera, even not showing my face, but being able to like expose kind of what I'm able to do and that hidden talent I do have. I think it's really cool. I'm sure he didn't expect me to have that.
No, I was blown away.
We never really talked about it. It was never something where I'm like, hey, I did drama for 2.5 years in high school. Like, it's not a conversation piece that I have with people.
You don't ever want to let anybody know you're a nerd. I get it.
Well, actually it kind of led me to thinking, like, I've told you kind of about my new script, right?
We're not giving away any spoilers.
No, not at all. But I immediately thought, like, when I created that, I was like, I wonder if I could talk her into it. Because it's, I told you, it's writing a new territory for me,
Right.
but it's not inappropriate.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean,
So I thought you guys would be funny, because I know Bryn can grow a mustache, and that's the requirement for this.
But I don't think it'll be as funny as if we use my real mustache. And first of all, it'll take 4 months for that to grow.
Oh, really?
I think a really, really shitty fake mustache is the way to go here.
We could do that.
total like pedo stash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking like oh man, what's the band name? Have you seen that real like famous GIF where the guy pops up the tree, the other guy comes behind him and holds binoculars up to him?
Or what about like the
band
one
is
of
that?
Ron Swanson when he has?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's
Exactly.
that's a good idea.
I'll even take the middle of it off and say it came off by friction.
I originally, when I was thinking of what this guy looked like, I imagined a mullet, like not like an old school mullet, but more of a discreet, new style.
And turtleneck with a thin gold chain.
No, we'll get into off camera because I don't want to reveal too much, because I think that this is going to be
This is gonna be your best
hilarious. It's always gonna, whatever I'm working on is going to break my heart, but also be my best work. And it breaks my heart because my laptop's just junk. I can't edit on it. So everything I'm editing, I'm doing on my phone right now, and I just ordered an SD card reader for iPads, because you have to order an external one. So at least I'll be able to use the programs I have on here going
Do you
forward.
want to use my MacBook?
Yes, he does.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I do have one, so if you want to use it, you're more than welcome to it.
Yeah, we'll play around with the idea. We'll chew on it a little bit. I have a yes taste in my mouth. But then I also have 3 kids that like to light fires.
Yeah,
Touche.
So,
I can be a middle ground here. You can bring it. She can bring it to the house. You can come over. You can do your work at the house. Hell, we can even what's that, airdrop to my TV and watch it on the TV as we edit.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, there's a lot of things we can do and we can explore. That's actually one of the things I'm getting within the next year for sure, is a brand new MacBook Pro.
It's the editing software and just everything. Like, I really want to create like cool ass images as well, just the capabilities behind it.
Yeah.
Kind of learn how to edit and everything. That's kind of a personal hobby I want to take on.
Well, there's different programs you can use. Like, I have Adobe, which
Right. Yeah.
it's really expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Unless your Josh Gibbons.
And you can pirate things.
And
No,
you
I
can
don't-
pirate shit, hell
I don't
yeah.
pirate
like-
anything. Actually, I do not pirate anything because I know that there's been reported bugs and stuff with that, but people have talked about great success with it as well. So
Yeah.
I don't pirate it, but I know somebody who got,
Tactically acquired.
yeah, whatever. We'll call it that. Doesn't hurt anything. So, let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. This episode is brought to you by Zip Ties. Ties on the go? Don't know how to tie it? Zip Ties will make this a convenient transition for you. Zip Ties are great for your next business meeting or your cousin's bar mitzvah. Get one today at Amazon.com. All right, and we are back. So, let me ask both of you this. So, as far as maybe behind the scenes, right? We've kind of focused on what the final product looked like. What about while on set, kind of behind the scenes? Was there anything that you saw or experienced that maybe you didn't anticipate?
Let me take that one first.
Oh yeah, you're gonna let me answer the hard-hitting questions. Yeah. I mean, I've never worked with you in regards to like projects, so kind of seeing how you and I would flow together in that regard. I mean, obviously we hit it off in person, but working together and seeing if you and I were a good fit on camera was kind of a huge obstacle. Not knowing how you and I would really work together. That was a huge one for me.
You break up really good. You know, we had a really good first breakup. That was
Hey
really
man,
good.
what can I say?
But yeah, I agree. It was a lot of the same thing. Like I never worked with anyone, so you know, it was kind of
Yeah, no, absolutely. And especially this being such a new relationship too, it's such a cool thing to kind of be able to have this same interest, I think, as well.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I just didn't know how you would really be on camera, vice versa. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my really badass camera setup. You know, with the LCD screen on top, microphone, everything looking all professional. But no, yeah, Bryn, totally.
Well, all right. So, with working on Turtleneck, and this is one thing I'll say, like both projects that we've done together, they were both very structured. So I kind of knew what things were going to look like before we did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so no matter what order we went in, because like especially with Turtleneck, like we jumped around a little bit. In
Yeah.
there. As we did with He's Nothing Like You.
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of knew what to expect as far as the product went.
Right.
The experience of actually being on camera and being an actor in a short film, like that was something I didn't know what to expect. So I couldn't even draw an opinion of what it was going to be like to do it. You know what I mean? Like I thought when we were done shooting Turtleneck, like I don't know how this is going to turn out. Like I knew what it was supposed to be, but I didn't know it was going to be good. And then when it came out, so first of all, when it hit my work, that's when I knew that it was actually pretty good. Like I thought it was good because I know we have some sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like I laughed at it just like I knew you would, but when I saw other people watching it and laughing their ass off, like that's when it was like, wow, this is kind of cool, you know? Like I did enjoy that. But during the shoot, I did not know what to expect at all from any aspect.
Yeah. So one thing from a director behind the scenes point of view that I've had to struggle with and have been unsure of is giving that direction, right? So like in other projects, not Turtleneck, because that turned out exactly how I wanted with the exception of the fish tank, and that was a lesson learned on my part. It was loud, right? Outside of that, and maybe bringing down the acoustics a little bit, you know, kind of honing it in. There were a couple things like that, but outside of that, it was exactly how I wanted. But working on another short I did without either of you, Pasta Gloves, and also working on this, when you ask somebody to do something multiple times, and you're not paying them, right?
Right.
You don't know what the response is going to be, so it's like a balance of when do I say, we'll fix it in post, or when do I say, let's get this right so that it makes the job easier, we don't have to cut things. So for me, that was a challenge. I don't mind asking Bren, you know, I've known him for years, I don't mind saying, hey dude, do it like this. And I've done that at times. I said, hey,
Oh, yeah.
that was perfect, do it like this. But like not knowing you, right? Asking you to do something was a little uncomfortable. But I think for working with you, because you were just so natural, it was like, okay, I know one more take, maybe two more, and we'll have this perfect. But even like family and pasta gloves, I had family do it. And there were things that happened that I was like, you know what? Whatever it is, what it is, I know it's going to impact it. Like, there was a time where, I don't know that I should get into specifics in case I see this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I had my cousin's child playing a part, and I had him do something a couple times. I said, don't look at the camera, right?
Yeah.
And he's a young kid.
Right.
And immediately looked right at the camera after he said his line. But it was one of those things like, man, this is a young kid who's a family member who's helping me out for free. You know, where do I set my standard? And I think as I progress, I'm setting it higher, because it's one of those things that, like, we know we're going to have some fun. And as we progress and as we continue to make better content and put out better projects, that's going to build a showcase, not only for me, but for others. And there's actually a substantial amount of work for actors and actresses here in Idaho. I mean, I had it to where, I think I read one was, hey, we're looking for a female for a part. It's $150 an hour. It's 4 hours of work. Message me here. Right? Message me your reel, a link to your reel. So there's benefit for people who are looking for extra income. Like, let's say you're like, man, I could use some extra income. You know that there's those projects. We could take portions of those and create a demo reel.
Yeah.
One that you're proud of. So long term, it's beneficial for those people, but short term, you know, it's one of those things that's just kind of an obstacle I'm having to overcome.
No, I mean, you as a director, I thought you were phenomenal. I mean, you're guiding and directing everything. I think it has a lot to do with who is behind the camera as well, that ability to be able to be like, hey, this looks good, or hey, this looks like shit. You know what I'm saying? Having the capability of seeing that. Because, I mean, yes, the editing and everything, but being able to direct and, you know, understanding what you truly have a vision of is really important on set. And so the actor could be fucking phenomenal, but if the director's not that great, then does it really matter when you can't really visualize what you want the product to be?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so easy, like when we do things together, because we have known each other for so long, but the communication between actor and director are pretty well. And like I just chalked it up to, well, me and Josh have known each other for half a decade, so you know, it's like that. But then when you and her communicated on set with He's Nothing Like You, I was like, oh no, he's actually just really clear communicating. And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. You know, I think that there's, you know, because I am new to filmmaking and I'm in school for it now, very early into it, which is why the production quality hasn't made leaps and bounds. But I think it's important to practice the art that you want to create.
Absolutely.
Before you even get to the point where you're having to do it.
Exactly. If you can't visualize it, then what's the point? If you can't, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, if you can't draw it out, then how are we going to be able to display that for you?
Yeah, for sure. But
and that's where I think I suffer with the whole YouTube channel thing. Like I can have the image of what I want it to look like in my head, but if I can't communicate that to you so that you can understand my vision, it's going to get lost in translation.
Well, I think that there's certain fields that develop leadership and communication skills, right? One being military, right? You have to learn to communicate. You have to learn to take direction and to give direction to those below you. There's going to be that constant flow of communication and kind of a cut the shit. Hey, here's what I need.
Right.
Here's okay, you did close. Here's exactly what I need. And I think that also translates to the business world, which is where I came from. You know, I used to manage 250 employees, 14 supervisors, and I had to execute. I was working on a government project, and then there were times where I wasn't working on a government project, and it was, you know, still, you know, corporate America, if you will, and you have to execute, and you have to deliver, and sometimes you're not given all the information in how it should look. Just like, this is what I want the final product to look like, go, figure it out.
Yep.
You know, and you have to do exactly that. So having that vision, knowing what somebody wants to see, and being able to communicate that effectively was something I had to learn. And it makes it nice that I'm, instead of communicating somebody else's vision, with these projects I'm communicating my own. At least up until this point. Now, that's going to change. I'm going to have to learn to adapt and go back to that, which I'll be I'll have been happy that I was in that, business professional world.
Right.
Where I have to carry other people's visions, because if somebody came to me with a great or funny short script idea and they wrote it out and I think it's great and I want to make it, then I want to execute it how they see. And I may make, suggestions,
Right.
Or shoot it two different ways. I would never go if you wrote something out and you're like, this is exactly how I envision it, right? And you're acting out, I'm going to say, cool. Hey, it'd look really good is if we did it this way. And you said, well, this is why I want
That's
it to look
not
this
really
way.
what I'm seeing. This
Right.
is why, yeah.
What I do is I'd say, well, let's humor me. Let's shoot it both ways. And then I'll give you both. And since this is your script and you're allowing me to direct it and get this, off the ground, I'll let you, we'll talk it out and you can decide at the end of the day. Because it's their piece of art, right?
Yeah.
And the nice thing, and there's two parts to art. The nice thing is once it's complete, whether it's a masterpiece or not, it is what it is.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. But the other thing as well to it is with art is once you put it out to the world, it no longer belongs to you. I truly believe that. So now that we've created Turtleneck and we've created He's Nothing Like You, that no longer belongs to us. It's art, in my opinion. So it belongs to the world. So we can't change things now, right? So
Until I start copyrighting stuff.
that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
So, well, do you have any other thoughts or opinions about the whole process?
Yes, I do. I think that if making short films or making a YouTube channel or any kind of production like that is something that you're interested in doing, and for whatever reason you're afraid of doing it, or you think people might not like it, or people might make fun of you for it, or whatever the reason may be, silence that and just do it, because it is a lot of fun and it's a great outlet, and it's a way. I'm obsessed with ways to create something out of nothing, and it's a beautiful way to do that. So if that's something that you're thinking about, if it's something that you've always wanted to do, or if it's something you're watching this video and you're like, oh man, I could do that. 2 months ago, I had never been on camera other than reading announcements, and stuff like that back in high school. So if it's something that you really want to do it. Do it. Just get out and do it.
What's funny about that too is even if you're not producing quality content that you're satisfied with, somebody is going to be satisfied with it. An example is did you ever see my Kevin LaChance videos?
Yes, I did.
So I created this character that's from North Dakota.
North Dakota.
That he has a bad back, slip disc. He calls himself a slip disc survivor. My brother and I to his credit, he helped me create the character. I created him. My brother helped refine him, helped come up with a lot of the ideas because my brother's just a genius like that. But he's a slip disc survivor with a mustache, and he believes that any ailment, slip disc, cancer, paralysis, whatever it is, can be cured by a good soak. So, North Dakota, I think. But I actually have people who are die hard in love with that.
It's a great character, man. It's
quoting him, stuff like that.
That's funny.
And
it is one of my
Someone
favorites.
can resonate with it. Exactly.
You should make
And
Kevin
it's cool.
LaChance shirts.
I should, and I may. It would have to be a baseball tee like this with this face on it. What's funny though is everything I did was really off the cuff. There was nothing planned except for the first one, which was my least favorite. I did one that was 28
Improv is
seconds.
fun.
Yeah, improv. I did one that was 28 seconds, where I just, I'll show it to you, but it's essentially the crappy music that he plays in the background, and he's all chipper all the time, and he just shows you where the soap tub's gonna go. So it's literally, and I intentionally set my phone not to rotate, so when I flipped the screen, it was upside down.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's just small things like that that someone can resonate, or if they're having a shitty day and they're able
Yeah.
to watch that, like it cheers people up. I think that's awesome.
You know what's funny? This is a truth nobody else knows. I did one Kevin LaChance video where my accent changed, and I'll be honest, it was because I was highly inebriated. I was so. It wasn't that I like did it intentionally or forgot what his sound like. I was just so drunk. It switched from like North Dakota chipper guy who believes in soaking tubs to all of a sudden I was from Boston and I was a 60-year alcoholic.
Wait, I gotta ask you something real quick. Speaking of inebriated camera experiences, did you delete the drunk podcasts? Like, delete them for good?
Yes.
Why did you do that? Do you know how funny some of those, like, if you just cut clips and took them completely out of context and just mashed some things together, how hilarious.
It actually had little to do with that. It was actually, a lot of it was accident, because I don't know if you remember, we actually had to re-record some things.
Yeah, we did.
I actually did that on another project as well, where I deleted on accident the wrong thing. So when you have something, you're like, well, shit, this wasn't what I meant to do. And it was laziness on my part, to be honest, because I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to listen to 30 minutes. Let me see which one sounds right. And then I deleted the wrong one, sort of thing. So I was like, finally, like, screw it. I'm going to make it to where we just have to redo them all.
Well,
because the best ones were gone.
Where one door closes, another one opens. We
That's
just
right.
have to get completely hammered again and just ramble, and then just mash those clips up completely out of
I don't know how about completely hammered, but yeah. Well, funny enough, that one I was still like, I edited, I got it up, and then I was like, oh god. And that was another thing with Kevin LaChance, I always edited inebriated. Not sober, not even once. I was at least buzzed. And I'd edit and I'd upload, and then I'd be like, oh shit, how did that turn out in the morning?
Josh doesn't do drunk text, he does drunk video edits.
I do drunk YouTube videos.
Right, drunk YouTube.
But funny enough, I recognized after I edited and started uploading that it was not right. So what I immediately did was I did a follow-up video that was supposed to be from 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh my god.
So I messed up my hair and I kind of did the, howdy folks, Kevin LaChance here. And I apologized to the people of Boston for marginalizing them. And I apologized to my wife Margaret for screaming at her. Because in the previous video it was like a review of alcohol, even though I'm a recovering alcoholic. And it's important when you're a recovering alcoholic not to let your wife know. Yeah, that was, so.
If they're worth a watch, go find the Kevin LaChance video.
Yeah, they're under Snobbig Productions, so. But yeah, now here's something I did want to get into before we do go ahead and cut it or do anything like that. You mentioned wanting to do YouTube videos, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you realize you're doing that right now?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's weird how that works.
And it's flowing really easily. I actually like the dynamic. Brady and I, we can get on camera and we can talk, or we can not be on camera and we can both talk. We're just power talkers. And you've smoothly flowed into that,
Yeah, I'm definitely more of like a submissive person, so I definitely will like pitch in here and there, but I'm a very... You guys, stop!
You gave me a week. Week and a dime.
I was just listening, that's all I was doing.
I can't even know, like I don't even remember who snapped first.
So you're a submissive person. Go ahead.
Yeah, about submissive, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna try to like revamp that, but it's not gonna work because you guys are just gonna laugh anyways. So.
You flow into our conversation. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll add or like interject here and there when I feel it's right, but definitely more low key. I mean, he definitely, when him and I talk, like he definitely talks a lot more than I do. But I'll sit and listen and then I'll kind of interject. But that's how I've always been as a person.
Yeah. See, that's funny. Me and Brayden, when we talk, like, we're real passionate people. We can talk, we can go at it, we can talk forever. I'm that way because we're friends, we've built that trust, we built that friendship. I can go forever with talking.
Hence the Drunken Podcast for like 2 hours apiece.
Yeah. Bryn, on the other hand, that's not necessarily him. It doesn't matter if you're a good friend or if you're just a guy working at a gun show. you kind of sometimes you watch him. He talks to somebody. He'll ask one question, and then you're moving through a gun show together. I'm using a real example. And every freaking place you stop at, he's gonna stop and talk to the guy for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, geez, man, like.
It is.
You know.
Absolutely.
I like to know things. Like.
But it's so weird because you have the ability to like just talk to anybody. I don't.
And you're not you don't understand how many people like they will. Some would say it's like, I don't know, a gift or a personality trait or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like everyone out there has something to say, and unless you kind of interact with them, like you'll never get that out of them. So like, especially like the gun shows thing, like gun shows are like my happy place. I love going there, and like, you know, there's the world of guns is so diverse, and there's so many different things with every different gun is different, and et cetera, et cetera. Like I'll ask people about stuff, and we'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation, and sometimes it's 30 minutes, and sometimes it's an hour, and sometimes it's 2 minutes.
You know what's funny though is I'm one of the people that I like to talk at gun shows too. When something's in my price range. That's it. He'll take the conversations to guns he'll never afford.
Oh yeah, there'll be a $10,000 gun, and I want to know why that gun's $10,000. Explain it to me, what makes it so special, and I'll sit there and talk with somebody until I figure it out, or until I'm like, yeah, that's not, it's a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I like to know things, and the way to get information from people is to interact with them.
Fair. All right, so last question from me, and then you guys are free to say whatever you want. Having done YouTube videos now, I'm sure you had something else in mind than sitting with two guys.
Yeah, a little different, you know.
You think you're going to try and pursue that?
I don't know. As he's like nodding his head, yeah. I honestly have no idea. I mean, I've had things in my head where I'm like, eventually when I do this, like, eventually when I want to learn how to ride, I want to create those motovlog videos, but maybe not show my face until later, or maybe, you know, I've had multiple people like, hey, can you do like makeup tutorials for us, you know, this X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I'm pretty average on that, but I've had people ask their passions, or maybe like reviewing gamings on stuff I've, you know, played before, kind of have that, but there's so many different things that, you know, I personally have that I feel like I could put my personality into. But we'll see, maybe down the road.
Yeah. You know, for me, the one mistake I'm not going to say it's a mistake, it is what it is. One of the things that will always keep my channel subscriber count low is that I don't want to, in order to be successful for a lot of people, this isn't always the case, but you have to be very in a niche market, and you have to stick to that one conversation thing. And I never feel like I'm an expert in one thing. I feel like I know enough to have a conversation about almost anything.
Right.
So I sound intelligent enough to have to sit at the big boy table until we get into the brass tacks things.
Well, there's a lot of truth to that, but there's also a way. So I follow a lot of YouTubers. Like when I go home, I don't turn on TV and turn it to Cartoon Network or Comedy Central. Like I go on YouTube and I watch YouTube videos. That's mainly my focus of entertainment comes from YouTube. And I'm not going to drop names, but there's a YouTuber out there who started on motorcycles, and you know he got really, really, really popular with motovlogs. That's what he started doing, and now this guy's doing gun review or gun videos. He's rebuilding the Camaro in his garage. Like, I mean, he's doing a truck build. He does stuff with a wrap company. I mean, he's really branched his channel out to so many different avenues. But he did that after the fact of his channel, you know, catching traction from a niche market. Like, because he focused on motorcycles and became a popular motovlogger. He then branched out to other avenues.
But I feel like he's in a really male-dominated demographic regardless with those hobbies.
Oh,
so, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of stuck with it, even though he's branched out to other things. He's stuck with that.
Absolutely.
So.
Because the basis of his channel is motorcycles, guns, cars. He's built like some really rad furniture and stuff like that. So like, he's definitely stayed in that realm of the male-dominated topics.
DIY,
Yeah, a lot of it. And his whole channel is based on things you can do yourself.
Yeah.
But he's really steered away from that niche market, from just being a motovlogger to an all-around YouTuber. But like you look at other channels, like some of the biggest, most popular gun channels. Like there's another YouTuber who's got, he's a veterinarian, so he has He has his vet channel where he does stuff with animals. He does
Demolition Ranch.
We weren't gonna drop names.
I'm gonna drop names.
All right,
they have a good show.
The first channel was Do It With Dan, and then Demolition Ranch or Off the Ranch or Vet Ranch. Like all of those are all one guy. All the ranch channels, they're all one guy, and he doesn't he keeps his gun stuff on the gun channel. He keeps his family stuff on his Off the Ranch channel. He keeps his animal stuff on the Vet Ranch channel. So there's ways that you can definitely do it. It's just a process.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of like where I'm at with my channel. Like before I launch the channel, I want to be able to have the setting to actually do the things I want to do.
Right.
Part of that is building the garage, but it worries me because there's no fan base there to really grasp onto that original, that beginning content.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a toss up. Like, do I outfit the garage and not film it, and just come into it with bike builds, or what do I do here? So there's a science behind the inner workings of a YouTube channel. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize, is that there's more to than just what you see when you hit the play button.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. One thing I would say with that is really, I mean, here's the thing. People think I have to have the most expensive camera to do anything. I have to have the most, I've got a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
And most of it I don't ever use. I mean, even right now, we could be using podcasting mics, different things like that. But I'm hooked up to a Rode mic. It catches us all, and I'm on a Canon M50 now. To be honest, I'm getting 2 new cameras next year. But
you're gonna sell this one to your friend Brent, right?
No, I actually have. I really like this camera, but you can get it pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canon M50. I think this setup with the Rode mic was $699.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And it came with a bunch of accessories. You can get it used for probably $450. So now you'd have to buy the mic separate, which are probably $100, $125. But even at that, I think it's a good investment to have something like that. So, and this is actually really good. This camera specifically is really good for vlogging, right?
Yeah.
And this lens, the kit lens that comes with it, is really good. I have other lenses that I use, and I actually did some different shots when we were doing He's Nothing Like You with those different lenses, but for the close-ups, like a 50 mil, different things like that. Mm-hmm. But it's a great setup, and I think it's worth its weight in gold, and especially if you want to do vlogging. I want to do vlogging, but I realize that my life is really boring. It's got to be me going, here's the camera. I'm like,
I wouldn't say
Jack, go to bed.
I actually have a friend. Their channel's more subscribed and liked by friends and family, mm-hmm. more so than it is like the general YouTube world.
Yeah.
But they just started it like 2 months ago. They have a newborn kid, and pretty much all they do is follow like their life. That's it. That's all they do. And their videos are actually surprisingly really good.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you just have to get 10 minutes of content in each day. Like I did a couple vlogging episodes, right? And it was cool-ish.
Right.
I actually thought it was really good. I did a really good job with it. But I can't keep that up every day. I can't be like, yep, this is exciting. You know, there was a lot of intentional things that happened in there.
Right.
And I think the best of vlogs have that intention where, you know, things you don't see behind the camera, but you're like, man, that's really cool, and then you have to think about it. Like people setting up cameras and they ride their bikes right by it.
Yeah.
Right.
They've already been there.
Yeah.
And they went back and they rode different things like that, and I was just like, yeah, I got kids. Mine's gonna legit be, Jack, go to bed.
No. Well, no, that's
Stop fighting your sister.
so. Yeah, like in the world of motovlogging, like it's a very organic conversation, and the reason I say that is because like it's just you on a motorcycle by yourself. Like there's nobody else there. Nobody else there interacting with you. You're just kind of running through your thoughts. You know what I mean? Like you're just having that organic conversation. You can't carry a script around on your motorcycle and read it while you ride. You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm sure there's a way
Jokes
out there to
on
do
you.
that, but I just don't think it's the safest.
Tape
thing to
it
do.
to the visor.
Tape it to the visor.
Inside, yep.
You can't see shit. But like you can do dual vlogs and things like that where people are linked through Bluetooth and
Yeah.
you can talk back and forth, and then the magic of editing, it's like you hear both. But like for the most part, 9 out of 10 times it's one person on a bike riding, just talking about a subject that they know about. Like the ones that I've done, I have to redo. Like my favorite, most in depth one was like things to know before you ride, or like the things that a beginner rider should know, because it's a very sought after subject when people get into riding. What should I know before I jump on this intimidating motorcycle and go ride around the roads and do this thing that could kill me?
Right.
So like there's a lot of people that search that out, and you can tell that just by looking at just put that in the search bar on YouTube. Look at the videos that come up. Look how many times they've been viewed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty sought after topic in the world of motorcycling. So I want to redo that one because I thought it was a really good conversation, and it had a lot of really good information. A lot of things that I wish I would have known when I first started riding. But like it's I love the organicness of motovlogs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's good to have that organic flow of things, you know. There's ways that, I'm going to say the most famous vlogger of all time, right? Casey Neistat. If you don't know who he is, check him out. He'll do things intentionally that you probably don't even notice, right? Like he'll start saying like, you know, my daughter's been waking up in the middle of the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll wait like 3 or 4 blocks to give you something new to look at, and he's still doing the same thing. He's riding his skateboard or whatever, and then he'll say the next line about his daughter. Don't get me wrong, I love her. That sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of thought that goes into that. To have a really good vlog, I think, you know, I don't know. I think it's different with motorcycles probably because.
Well, you also got to think like Casey.
They're wanting to watch that.
Casey lives a life that is like over the top.
Oh yeah.
Like the dude's a celebrity in his own right. Like he was just on What the Fit with Kevin Hart. Like yeah. I mean I don't know if he just was. That episode just came across my YouTube feed, but like he does things on an A-list celebrity scale. So like, it's super easy for him to make a good vlog because the things that he's doing. Like I think the people that take an everyday life or an everyday activity, not to take away from what he does, but like I think that's so much more difficult to have success with.
Yeah.
Like if you're not, you know, on $10 million yachts with, you know, supermodel best friends, like it's pretty freaking easy to make that interesting. But yelling at your kid to go to bed, it's not even on the same scale. You know what I mean?
You know, the one thing about vlogs that I don't like, and I think that there's more of an organic, natural, real feel to the motor vlogs, because I've seen a few, and they seem more honest, less cuts, different things like that. I saw a thing recently, within the last 6 months, where a woman who has this vlog, she was talking about how much she loved her puppy, and she accidentally left out editing a part where she punched her dog on camera.
I gotta see this.
Like, was beating her dog, and she uploaded it.
Oh shit.
And
got a flashback for it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I love my dog so much, sort of thing. And then she's like, you stupid piece of shit, get away from me. You know, whacking it, sort of thing. I don't think she was like full on beating it, like, to be fair to her. But, you know, but she was like, you know, just not her reality in that moment versus what she was portraying was night and day.
Yeah.
So
False.
vlogging with motor vlogs, I think they're more natural because you can be yourself. Everything else, people are looking for happiness. Like they're like, oh, what's gonna make me feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you're watching somebody else's life.
One of my favorite vlogs that I've ever seen was from Do It With Dan. It's such a brutally honest video. It's about, there was some controversy that happened with another motovlogger who did some stupid things on a motorcycle, ended up getting into a really bad accident, and then instead of coming out and saying, you know, like, because we have to be honest with ourselves, like adults aren't the only ones that are on YouTube, you know?
Right.
There's kids, there's young adults that are on YouTube that see these people in their own light of celebrity. So Dan was really upset that the Yami Noob guy, the other motovlogger that caused the accident, didn't come out and say, you know, I apologize for my actions. Don't do what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a problem with the fact that he didn't do that. He came out and said, buy my t-shirts and support me, instead of coming out and saying like this was a bad
screwed
deal.
up.
Yeah, like I could have killed this woman, et cetera, and really brought reality to the situation. Instead, he just used it for his own monetary gain.
Yeah.
And if you watch Dan's blog or his moto vlog on that, he does not hold back. It is 100% raw emotion, raw passion for not only motorcycling, but for vlogging and the responsibility that comes with the stardom of being on YouTube and having, you know, people look at you in a light like, you know, I come to this guy to know what I'm supposed to do on a motorcycle. It was phenomenal, and he caught us so much heat, but I respect him for leaving it up. I respect him for leaving it up and leaving that honest discussion, because it was one that needed to be had.
Yeah.
And especially in the motorcycle world, it's something I run into with on every season. You know, so there's at least one horribly bad accident, and there's always those people that, instead of facing the reality of the situation and saying this is what happened, this is what could have been prevented, they always completely derail the conversation and make it something that's not. And I think that was something that Dan did a perfect job of shedding light on, because he could have killed that woman. It could have been a very serious deal.
Yeah.
And he made sure that point was driven across. So I love him for being so honest. And you see that a lot in motovlogging.
Yeah, authenticity is always, I think, important. So, all right, anything else? All right, we look forward to your YouTube channel.
Okay.
When it's out.
Duly noted.
When it's out, we will make sure to have her on this podcast. You know, we're going to call this one, well, we'll figure out a title, but I got to tell you, you're still in the bunker with Jash. This is my office here, so I'll probably post it to 2 different places. So, all right, until next time, guys, have a wonderful evening.
Bye.